Have you ever scrolled through your phone and seen sensational headlines claiming she's lost everything? That the queen of pop, the woman who defied generations, might be broke? It's a rumor that exploded online, went viral in WhatsApp groups, and ignited the debate. Could Madonna, the billionaire, now be on the verge of bankruptcy? Sounds crazy, right? The artist who sold over 300 million records, with tours that grossed hundreds of millions, owner of an empire that goes far beyond music. How could someone with such a career be in financial trouble? This narrative, which spreads like wildfire, forces us to ask, what is true and what is just smoke and mirrors in the entertainment industry? Get ready to uncover what's really happening. In this video, we'll pull back the veil of glamour and speculation, diving deep into the reality of Madonna's financial empire. We'll expose the true sources of her fortune, understand how she spends it, and more importantly, how she transformed every rumor and every criticism into a business opportunity. You'll discover why the idea of Madonna being broke is actually one of the biggest myths in pop culture. Stay until the end, because the real story is far more fascinating and full of lessons that can change your own perception of money and success. The rumor that Madonna was broke didn't come out of nowhere. It was born from a dangerous mix of misinformation, speculation, and the viral power of social media. Let's think about the last few years of her career. We had the controversies surrounding the Madame X tour, which had shows canceled due to health issues, some delays, and a more artistic and less pop performance for some fans. This generated criticism. Added to that, the high cost of living of a global superstar, her investments in art, luxury real estate, and a certain aversion from Madonna to bend to fleeting trends, all created fertile ground for speculation. So, where did this lost everything narrative come from? Generally, it stems from sources that don't understand the complexity of a celebrity's finances. A common mistake when interpreting artists' fortunes is to focus on only a slice of the pie. For example, if a tour doesn't sell out immediately, or if an album doesn't reach the top of the charts like in the 80s, it's quickly concluded that the artist is in financial decline. But Madonna's empire is vast, with multiple layers of income that most people can't even imagine. The impact of social media on the financial reputation of public figures is gigantic and dangerous. A single clickbait headline or a malicious tweet can turn into a fact for millions of people in a matter of hours. The speed with which disinformation spreads on digital platforms is alarming, and in Madonna's case, this speed fueled the perception of a downfall when the reality was completely different. It's easy for the lay public to confuse less visibility or less chart success with bankruptcy. But Madonna's fortune is built on much more solid pillars than the sale of a single. Now, let's unveil the truth behind the rumors and delve into the reality of Madonna's financial empire. Far from being broke, she is one of the wealthiest artists in the world, with a fortune that has kept her in the billionaire bracket for years. The question isn't whether she has money, but the complexity of how she accumulated and maintains it. Madonna's true sources of income go far beyond album sales, which are just the tip of the iceberg. Think about her world tours. They are money-making machines with exorbitantly priced tickets, merchandise sales, sponsorships, and huge commercial deals. Her recent celebration tour, for example, was not only a critical and public success, but an astronomical earner, showing that her live drawing power remains intact. Besides shows, she owns a vast catalog of copyrights on her music, generating millions annually in royalties, whether played on radio, in films, TV shows, or streaming platforms. This is a passive and constant revenue stream. But Madonna's empire extends far beyond music. She is a shrewd businesswoman. She has stakes in various brands, investments in luxury real estate around the world, which constantly appreciate, and one of the most valuable art collections on the planet. Financial market experts and magazines like Forbes estimate her current fortune at around $850 million, which, depending on the exchange rate, places her near or above the billionaire threshold in reais, as our video title suggests. It's a figure most of us would never dream of having. So, why has she never needed to go back to work, out of necessity, as some rumors imply? Simple, she never stopped working. But more importantly, she built a robust financial ecosystem. Her investments and royalties ensure that money works for her, whether she's on stage or not. The idea that she needs to do something to pay the bills is laughable to anyone who understands the true dimension of her fortune and the intelligence with which she manages it. The show in Brazil, for example, was not a financial necessity, but a celebration of a legendary career, widely sponsored, and with incalculable image return. If you're starting to understand that celebrity financial success goes far beyond what the surface shows and want to start changing your own mindset to build a more prosperous life, please like this video right now. This helps us bring this message to more people. And if you feel you're ready to reprogram your brain to think like the richest and most successful people in the world, to unlock mental patterns that prevent you from getting rich, the link to the Millionaire's Brain in the first pinned comment could be the turning point of your life. It's a science-based method that activates areas of the brain linked to motivation, discipline, and decision-making, with sessions of just 90 seconds a day and visible results in as little as 7 days. Many have already transformed their lives with it, just as Madonna transformed every adversity into a springboard. With such a vast fortune, the question that naturally arises is, how does Madonna spend her fortune? And more importantly, is there a strategy behind her spending that goes beyond simple ostentation? The answer is, yes. Madonna is known for her luxurious lifestyle, and that's no secret. She owns spectacular mansions in New York, London, and Portugal, which are not just residences, but valuable assets that appreciate over time. Her art collection is legendary, including works by artists like Frida Kahlo and Pablo Picasso, which are investments worth hundreds of millions of dollars and only tend to increase in value. Private jets and a team that accompanies her on her travels are part of the logistics of a global artist who lives and works on different continents. $1 million behind the scenes of the show in Taoso, Brazil are a perfect example of the contrast between ostentation and strategy. That was not a simple expense. It was a gigantic investment that involved colossal production logistics, security, equipment transport, and paying a huge team. But the return? Incalculable. The free show at Copacabana Beach was a historic event that generated immense global publicity for the artist, reaffirmed her status as a global icon, and created a buzz that translates into more engagement, more catalog sales, and more future opportunities. She transformed strategic spending into image profit and cultural capital. It's fundamental to understand that for Madonna, and for many celebrities of her stature, $1 million expense is not necessarily a waste. It can be an investment in her personal brand, in her legacy, or in assets that generate even more wealth. The image of luxury and power she projects is also part of her brand, an element that contributes to her aura of an unreachable diva and her market value. She uses her money to maintain and expand her empire, not to squander it. Madonna's true genius, the secret behind her commercial longevity, lies in her innate ability to use her image to generate business, and above all, in her constant reinvention. She understood, long before many, that her personal brand is the most valuable asset an artist can have. She's not just a singer. She's a corporation, an idea, a cultural icon that transcends music. Madonna was a pioneer in diversifying her ventures beyond her primary art. She launched the cosmetics line MDNA Skin, which reflects her interest in beauty and wellness. She also had the hard candy fitness gym chain, expanding her brand into lifestyle. And there are several other ventures and partnerships, from children's books to stakes in technology and fashion companies. Each of these businesses is an extension of her personal brand, leveraging her global influence and her reputation as an innovator. The secret here isn't just having many businesses, but the coherence and strategy behind each one. Madonna doesn't simply put her name on products. She's involved. Her identity is infused into every project, which confers authenticity and attracts her loyal audience. This ability to reinvent herself, to remain relevant through the decades, changing her aesthetic, her music, and her messages is what sets her apart. She never settled for being just a figure from the past. She always sought the future, dictating trends and adapting, or rather, forcing the world to adapt to her. This constant reinvention is the key to commercial and financial longevity. The narrative of Madonna is broke is a perfect example of the failed billionaire myth. This happens frequently with celebrities, when they are no longer consistently at the top of the music charts or in major films. The public wrongly assumes that their financial resources have dried up. But this completely ignores the structure of an empire built over decades. What most people don't understand is the crucial difference between revenue and profit, and between public image and financial reality. A celebrity might have extremely high living costs, but that doesn't mean they don't have even higher incomes. Furthermore, many high-level artists have their fortunes managed by teams of financial specialists who carry out long-term investments, portfolio diversification, and sophisticated tax planning. The fortune isn't sitting idle in a bank account. It's working. The difference between public image and financial reality is striking in Madonna's case. The image that the media and social media project might be of an artist who is struggling or facing difficulties. But the reality behind the scenes is of a woman who continues to generate and accumulate wealth in various ways. And here's a fascinating point: how failure or controversy is used as marketing. Madonna, throughout her career, has always known how to capitalize on controversy. The criticisms, the rumors, the perceived failures often generate more visibility and curiosity, which in turn convert into engagement and eventually profit. She's not afraid of being misunderstood, because misunderstanding often generates debate, and debate keeps her name in the spotlight. Madonna's trajectory is a true lesson in mindset and financial intelligence. How does she manage to overcome image crises, negative narratives, and constant media pressure? The secret lies in an unwavering mindset and a long-term vision for her businesses and fortune. The role of mindset in wealth building is central to her story. Madonna doesn't think small. She has always thought like an entrepreneur, a disruptor, someone who is building something much larger than herself. Her discipline, her legendary work ethic, and her ability to reinvent herself are not just personality traits. They are pillars of her financial strategy. She sees herself as a brand and invests in it as such. What can we apply from her strategy in real life? First, diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Madonna doesn't just live off music. She has real estate, art, brands, investments. Second, resilience. Rumors and criticism will come, but how you recover and use them is what matters. Third, personal marketing. Your image is an asset. Invest in it, create value, and use it to open doors. And finally, long-term vision. Billion-dollar fortunes aren't built overnight, but with persistence and strategy over decades. And how do you psychologically shield yourself against rumors and narratives that can harm you? Madonna shows us that the best defense is strategic, indifference, and focus on results. When you're building something solid and real, external noise becomes irrelevant. She doesn't waste time trying to convince her detractors. She continues creating, investing, and expanding her empire. She trusts her vision and her team. This self-confidence is the strongest armor against any rumor. Madonna's story, far from being about a broke artist, is a living testament to the power of reinvention, financial intelligence, and unwavering resilience. She teaches us that fame and money are double-edged swords, and that public perception doesn't always reflect the financial reality of a carefully constructed empire. What does her story teach us about fame and money? That true fortune isn't just in sold-out shows or chart-topping hits, but in the ability to diversify, innovate, and transform every obstacle into an opportunity. She shows us that an artist's legacy goes beyond their works. It extends to their ability to build a lasting empire and dictate their own rules. So, who is truly broke in this story? It's not Madonna. It's the empty narratives, the malicious rumors, and the limited view that many people have about how success and wealth are truly built. The truth is that the Queen of Pop remains firmly on her financial throne, more relevant and strategic than ever. This is an invitation for you to think differently about success. If you feel that Madonna's story has inspired you to go further, to change your own financial mindset, and to see opportunities where others only see problems, I have something important for you. Just as Madonna reprogrammed her career and her mind for lasting success, you can too. In the first pinned comment of this video, you will find the link to the Millionaire's Brain, a program that can reconfigure your brain to think like the richest and most successful people in the world, activating areas linked to motivation, discipline, and decision-making. Sessions of just 90 seconds a day with visible results in as little as 7 days. It's science applied to your prosperity. Don't miss the chance to transform your life, just as Madonna transformed hers. And now, your turn. Did this story about Madonna make you rethink something about fame and fortune? What's your biggest takeaway from her journey? Share in the comments. And for our next video, which other icon or celebrity would you like us to investigate in depth, uncovering their secrets and the reality behind the rumors? Leave your suggestion below. See you next time, and remember, your mind is your greatest asset.